Hello everyone in Oakbrook and Leicester and around the world. Welcome. Today I say happy birthday because we here in Oakbrook celebrate the church anniversary. The first people from Moravia, England and Germany settled here in 1740 and formed officially a congregation in 1750, so 10 years later. And in the year 2000, this lovely plate has been produced, reminding us of 250 years Moravian Church here in Oakbrook. So this year we celebrate 270 years Moravian Church in Oakbrook. We are grateful to God for all these years He has carried the congregation through good and difficult times. And we are also grateful for the building, the church building. He started building it in 1751 and it was completed in 1752 and has been used ever since. During this time of lockdown, we have learned to be grateful for a building, but we have also learned that being church does not depend on a building. We have continued to worship, although not in the church itself, but in a virtual way and in many other ways. So we thank God for holding us together. What is required to be a church is love, compassion, and the presence of God. Now we will listen to a reading from the first letter of the Apostle Paul to the congregation in Corinth, chapter 13, will be read by Sister Julie Haig, and then a reflection will follow by Claire Maxwell, who was on a placement here in Oakbrook and therefore is well familiar with Oakbrook and its people. She lives now with her family in Chelsea, and we are very grateful that we are connected in this way. Happy birthday again.
I may be able to speak the languages of men and even of angels, but if I have no love, my speech is no more than a noisy gong or a clanging bell. I may have the gift of inspired preaching. I may have all knowledge and understand all secrets. I may have all the faith needed to move mountains, but if I have no love, I am nothing. I may give away everything I have, and even give up my body to be burnt, but if I have no love, this does me no good. Love is patient and kind. It is not jealous or conceited or proud. Love is not ill-mannered or selfish or irritable. Love does not keep a record of wrongs. Love is not happy with evil, but is happy with the truth. Love never gives up, and its faith, hope, and patience never fail. Love is eternal. There are inspired messages, but they are temporary. There are gifts of speaking in strange tongues, but they will cease. There is knowledge, but it will pass. For our gifts of knowledge and of inspired messages are only partial. But when what is perfect comes, then what is partial will disappear. When I was a child, my speech, feelings, and thinking were all those of a child. Now that I am a man, I have no more use for childish ways. What we see now is like a dim image in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. What I know now is only partial. Then it will be complete as God's knowledge of me. Meanwhile, these three remain: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love.
May the Spirit of God rest upon this reflection. Amen. We were very much looking forward to being with you all this weekend. However, like most things, COVID has presented us with opportunities for change, and I feel lucky to be still asked to give a short reflection on your anniversary service, even though I still remain in Chelsea. I chose to reflect on the 1 Corinthians 13 passage, which is often used at significant times. There's much I could draw on to speak of the love we have experienced from our time amongst the Ockbrook community that I think ultimately has lasted with us far longer than any one specific experience or event. But today I want to focus on instead the line which speaks about a mirror right towards the end of the passage. For now we see only as a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. Mirrors are in many ways an everyday object. I don't know about you, but I know it's a badly disorganised day when I forget to look in the mirror before leaving the house and check I've no toothpaste left around my mouth. We use mirrors often. We rely on them to give an accurate picture. There's nothing worse than trying clothes on in a changing room with a mirror that makes you look a different size to what you are. It's just annoying. As Paul writes this passage, we have to understand that he would have used mirrors. Corinth at that time had famous bronze mirrors that were known for their imperfect reflections. I think that's key to understanding this passage, as at first it doesn't seem so bad to only see a reflection as in a mirror. I mean, that's what we see every time. But I think it's drawing on both the concept of not great mirrors, e.g. the ones in the changing room that make you look a completely different size, and the idea that the reflections can be inaccurate. Some will argue they're inaccurate as it's a reversal of the true image. That's true too, but I think it's also touching on the idea that there is a limitation in any mirror image. Let me explain a little more. I don't know if you ever had to do this in school, but one time in art, I had to take out a shard of a mirror and draw only what I could see in that mirror. The idea was you focus on what you could actually see. But what it also does at the same time is discourage you from looking beyond, behind, or to the side of the mirror. In art, this trains the eye for close observation. But to do that, you take the focus away from the wider context using this technique. Paul, I think, understands that when we finally meet with God, our insight and understanding and vision will alter. We will see, and I would add in touch, taste, smell and hear in a far more rounded way. We won't be limited to one direction of focus, but be able to comprehend all dimensions with God. I've always wondered if Paul focused on love in this passage because to love goes beyond logic. To truly love cannot be calculated simply from what you encounter through the senses. It's an inexplicable feeling that reaches beyond them. It goes past the limits of a mirror vision. It's a feeling which, should you ever try to translate it into language, is impossible. Why is this important today on your anniversary as a church community? Well, I've been hearing a little bit about how Ockbrook is churching together through COVID times, and I sense a new life emerging that is rounding out a little more of this mirror. I mean, I don't expect it to go beyond the mirror, not maybe in a lifetime, but I sense you adding different shards to the mirror, all of which are reflecting the love of God in more directions. The more mirror shards, the better. I'm seriously impressed that you've got things going on like Keep Fit as a way of being together. A community that is an expression of love keeping fit together. I mean, that is fabulous. Allowing new initiatives to be given expression in these times, I think, speaks volumes about the driving force of God's love that is seeping and flowing within the Ockbrook community. Through new people coming forward, as well as people who've been stalwarts having the grace to listen to new ideas and allow people to try things. It's surprising to say it, but not all church communities would do so well. And I guess I want to just encourage you to keep seeing where the God of love leads you over this next year. Keep imagining and having a go at new ideas. Allow the village to lead the way as much as the church community. God journeys here too. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. I hope when you return to worship inside the building, you don't lose all you have gained. Protect the new as well as the old. Trust that God expresses God's self in multiple ways. Always hope things can change for the better. Never stop trying to communicate that God is love. God bless.
Loving God, on this day of thanksgiving and celebration, we praise you for who and what you are. We thank you for your love and care, mercy and forgiveness. We praise you for holding us together, and although our church building is still closed, worshipping you has not ceased. Help us to gain gradually a fuller view of your love in our local community and around the world. Amen. grace of God thrill your hearts. The mercy of God transform your minds. The peace of God flood your souls. And the love of God flow through your lives, to the honor of His name. Amen.